did those test bullets all have similar marks?
My lord, I've checked them, all of them, and then find that they do have the similarities. Then I've selected the one with the best marks.
My question is, did all those test bullets that you work on have similar marks? I'm not asking you whether you fired bullets and then you had to go for, which ones did you go for? I'm asking you, very simple question, sir.
They had similar marks, my lord.
Thank you. Now, you then come and say, from those 8 marks, although they had similar, those 8 bullets, test bullets, although they had similar marks, then you went for those that had better marks, not so?
That is correct, my lord.
Yeah. Why would these bullets, these test bullets, others have better marks and others not, when they were fired from the same firearm?
Yeah.
My lord, the transfer of marks on the bullet is not going to repeat itself exactly the same. They will have those similarities, but they will be the one that will have at least the best marks that are clearly visible, my lord.
Now, when others have better marks and others do not have better marks, on what basis do you then conclude that they've got similar marks?
My lord, you will see that those marks are sufficient. They are similar, and then they are sufficient for you to make that finding, my lord.
But then say, if that is the case, you would not go for those that have got better marks, because they've got sufficient marks, then the marks are similar. You just take any bullet there at random and do your test, not so. If your explanation is anything to go by.
But if you can recall previously, I said after checking all the tests, I picked up one test. On the comparison microscope, you can put a test and an exhibit, one. Then we check the test with that particular exhibit. Then you will find the similarities. Then you will rotate them up until you are satisfied. And then I picked up the second one just to verify what I have seen on the other test. I cannot say with the exhibits I've checked them all, but I've checked the tests against the tests to see that these tests, they've got the similarities. Then from there, I randomly picked up. Is that just, my lord, because I did not write? I cannot say specifically it was this test.
What makes me sad is knowing that this is a ballistic expert right here in South Africa. These are the experts who test firearms on a day-to-day basis. And when he said, I did not write down. So he had 8 test bullets to go through, TB3 all the way up to TB10. And he says he's putting them in that microscope against the exhibit. And then previously he just told MNISI that he picked the one with the better marks. How does he know which one is the better marks? Because he never wrote anything down. So he picked up TB3. What if TB3 was the one which was the best of the best, okay? But he's already down at number 6. How will he remember that TB1 was the best? Do you see that the quality checks in this system that they talk about, these 4, Lieutenant Colonel Mangena, Sereo, wow, I've forgotten his name already. Captain Grobler and Captain NTINI, all 4 of them are saying that this is the process that they work with. But there's no writing down when you're an opinionator. So then I would think if I'm giving you one bullet and I ask you for the opinion on that one bullet, which if I was Mangena, I would give you the one that I think is the best. And then you see it, you put it against the exhibit, and then you say, yes, it's a match. But the fact that you're given all 8 exhibits and you're asked to verify and you take no notes, you write nothing down. And then surprise, surprise, you are able to write an affidavit when BALOYI asks you 4 years later. They have incredible photographic memory. Let me know your thoughts. This is Mzansi. These are the ballistic experts that the nation relies on to solve firearm cases. What a revelation that the SENZO MEYIWA trial is highlighting just with these ballistic experts. And let me put it on record, I'm disappointed. I have zero confidence in the ballistic section. Let's keep listening on.
No, I don't get your explanation. It's your explanation is too clouded. My question is, if you are so sure that these bullets had similar marks, why did you have to go for those that you refer to as better marks?
My lord, I had 8 tests. I've checked the tests against each other. Then from after checking those tests, then I picked up one. I cannot specifically say which one. Then I put there in order to compare it with the exhibit. You are not incorrect. You are correct. What I'm saying is that I picked up the test from amongst the 8. Then I used it to compare it with the exhibit bullet in order to check if they do have a match. But what I've said also is that all the tests, they had the similar marks. However, I cannot say all the marks were all clearly the same. I don't know if I'm making sense, because nature does not repeat itself 100%. You will find that other marks are clearly visible than the others. Remember, I'm using a comparison microscope. So now if I see a certain test bullet with better marks than the other, then I will use that particular one.
Yeah, I think it's a question of language. Maybe the language expression could be deficient, and I'm not saying that. Because there is a word also, it's identical, more pronounced. Have you heard of those words?
That is correct, ma'am.
Yeah. You're using similar, the same. One bullet may have the same, 2 bullets may be identical, and they may have similar marks. But one may have more pronounced marks. That's how I understand the evidence.
That is correct, my lord.
It's unfortunate, my lord, that I'm expecting that explanation to come from this witness, because I heard him very well.
Yeah, fine.
When he said, I compared these 8 bullets initially. I compared these 8 bullets and found them to be similar. But of the 8 bullets, then I picked up the one with better marks.
Yeah.
Good. And then my follow-up question was, but if these bullets had similar marks, why did you have to go for a better one and not pick up a random bullet? That's when then he came up with the explanation that from the 8 bullets that he had compared amongst themselves, he just picked up a bullet and tested it as against the same bullet. This time, no longer the bullet with the better mark. Then the explanation just went from there on and on and on and on, until then the court came up with marks being more pronounced, and etc., etc., etc. But this is not what this witness is saying, my lord. But nonetheless, I had his answer. Thank you, sir. Get your answer. Thank you. The bullets which you say is the one which you opted to use in order to compare with the scene bullet against the background that we have just set, that it is the one with a better mark. What mark did those bullets, did that bullet from the 8 that you picked up which had a better mark, what mark did it have for you to come to the conclusion that this one is more pronounced than the other bullets?
My lord, at this stage, I cannot say exactly which marks, because remember, I did not write anything down. All that I said is that during that time when I checked the bullet and the test, I found similarities and then that I concluded that they were fired from the same firearm, my lord.
You see, sir, that's a problem. I'm not talking to a layman here. I'm talking to an expert, not so. An expert who did science on certain who applied science on certain exhibits, not so.
That is correct, my lord.
You know, this, what you just now telling this court reminds me of a pathologist. Now, a pathologist is a person who does post-mortem, a doctor that does post-mortem. He went to court and told this court that, look, my chief finding on a post-mortem examination as to the cause of death of the deceased is asphyxia. Now, the court asked him, it was a him, the court asked him, how did this asphyxia happen? Now, the doctor said, no, I did not write it down. Whether the asphyxia was brought along by strangulation, by suffocation, or loss of blood, he couldn't explain. Well, that's exactly what you're doing, sir. You're telling this court these bullets were similar. But similar in what respect? I mean, the bullet which you say had better marks was positively compared with the scene bullet. How that happened? What is it that was in the scene bullet and in the test bullet? We don't know. Do you understand?
At this point, Captain NTINI is well aware, do not mess with Advocate MNISI Wemvula, because that was brilliant. He didn't just talk to him about Mangena, he then tied it to the ballistic expert, no, to the pathologist who just could not explain the cause. Because as well, they also did not write anything down. And this is where it's just highly surprising that everybody drops the buck. Everybody drops the buck. Nobody can find this gold tooth that Ubongani Ndanzi had. Everybody is making mistakes. Or are they mistakes? It is just absolutely shocking to me. It is shocking to me. And I love the patience that MNISI exhibits, even when Judge Rata went ahead and answered for the witness. Did you guys catch that? The judge descended into the arena and said, you know what, I think this is a matter of language. And then he gives the witness a couple of optional words, and the witness says, yes, that is correct. MNISI bursts out laughing and he says, well, I was expecting that answer from the witness, but nonetheless, we move, okay? We move. It is clear MNISI does not invest in his time in petty fights. He knows where he's going. He doesn't want to be distracted. He keeps going on, tracking forward. And at this point, Captain NTINI, I cannot recall, can see that what he did, the validation as alleged by MNISI, is out on full display. He has no clue which bullet he picked, why he picked it, whether it had grooves or striations, whether they were deeper, whether they were more. We don't know. He has no notes. He also doesn't know. Wow, incredible. Let's continue on.
What I can say, my lord, is that the pattern of those marks, I found similarities. I found them to be in agreement to make that particular finding, my lord.
Ngifuna ukusho ukuthi pattern yalezi mpawu lezi zangikholele ekutheni ikwazi ukufinyelela esinqumeni.
So we've said that this is science. Every step of the way that culminated to your finding must be accounted for. This is what I found, this is what I found, this is what I found, therefore this was my result. Do we have that in your evidence here at court in respect of your finding?
Hence, my lord, I said I was giving an opinion of which I did not write.
And that is how experts do their things. Mark you, I don't doubt your level of expertise. But I'm asking, is that really how experts do their analysis? They don't write nothing. They put everything in their head and later they put everything in their head and then later on forget them. Thank you, sir. Have you come here as an opinion giver or as an expert?
I gave an opinion, my lord.
So we are wrong to refer to you as an expert.
Yes, sorry, I'm
Yes.
sorry to interfere. You just referred to this gentleman. You said, I don't doubt that you're an expert. Am I quoting you correct?
Yes.
But I don't doubt your expertise. I heard-
Initially, I said that, man.
Yeah, fine. I'm saying you said that.
Yes.
Now you're investigating and querying the very thing you tell him you think and you know that he is.
That was before
That's
the-
all. That's all.
That was
Now you can go on. That's all.
No, madam. No.
I don't doubt that you're an expert.
Yes, madam.
Thereafter, you say, are you an expert or an opinion giver?
Yes.
Fine. I say, fine, you can go on.
But that is subsequent to the answer that
Yeah.
he gave me, my lord. All that I'm saying here are prompted by the answers which he's giving. And for the fact that I said to him, I don't doubt his expertise, my lord. I said that out of respect. But because of the answers that he himself gave me or gave this court, I've got no reasons, my lord, not to ask him whether he has come here as an opinion giver or as an expert. Then he proceeds to say, I've come here as an opinion giver. Now, when you have come here as an opinion giver, say, then the usage of, my saying to you that I don't doubt your level of expertise as an expert could have been misplaced, not so. Because you have come here as an opinion giver, not so.
My lord, this opinion that I gave is an opinion that will be given by a ballistic expert, my lord. Not anyone can give this particular opinion.
And as an expert, are you not supposed to take this court through the processes that you went through in arriving at your conclusion?
My lord, as I've alluded that I was giving an opinion, I gave an opinion. I did not write on the pro forma. The person who writes on the pro forma is the person who will be doing verification.
Njengoba ngishilo ukuthi bengilethe umbona angizange ngibhale ku-proforma ungishilo futhi ukuthi obhala umbiko yilo owumhloli omkhulu.
That pathologist that I referred you to, ne? Just to complete the mosaic, they had to call him and he had to go and account on the nature of the work that he did and presented at court. But nonetheless, let us proceed. Now, on the 22nd of July 2020, Lieutenant Colonel Mangena goes to you and requests for an opinion. You said last time, under cross-examination by my colleague, Ms. Mgomeso, that you can't remember at what time did he approach you. Was it in the afternoon? Or was it mid-morning, mid-morning, or was it midday? That you can't remember, not so.
That is correct, my lord.
And then in your affidavit, the one that you said you were requested much against, your protocol by Advocate Baloyi to prepare. You say on the 22nd of July 2020, during the performance of my official duties, I was requested by Lieutenant Colonel Mangena to provide a microscopic opinion regarding the following exhibits, bullet and test bullets. You mentioned them in 3.1 and in 3.2. And then in paragraph 4, you say, I examined the fired bullet mentioned in paragraph 3.1 and 3.2 and compared to the individual and task characteristics marking transferred to them by firearm components during firing process using a comparison microscope and found that the bullet that is mentioned in 3.1 and 3.2 were fired from the same firearm. That's what is contained in your affidavit, not so. Sorry, not so.
That is correct, my lord.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
So this whole process, the receipt, the comparison, and the finalization of the comparison and the making available of the results of a comparison is happening on the 22nd of July 2020, not so?
Listen, I do not know who needs to hear this, but let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. This is literally the best performance. I guess I can call it a performance. This is the best cross-examination between Uramusipili Ngomezulu and MNISI of Captain NTINI specifically, because MNISI took his time. And we have arrived at the very best part where he says, wow, you're a whole magician. You can receive all those test bullets, all 8 of them, and you can look at them under the microscope, and you can compare them with the exhibit, because you said you looked at all the test bullets on their own and you tested them alone. And then after you tested them alone, what did you do? You then went ahead and tested each one of those with the exhibit. And then when you were done, wow, you even gave your opinion all in one day. This is the beginning, and I think now Ginny realizes I'm inside Pagati, the trap, the door is closed, I'm on my own. Where is Baloyi? Where is Sibanda? When is Judge Rata going to descend into the arena? Because the door to the trap is shut. And I am on my own. Brilliant, Advocate MNISI. That was brilliant. Wow.
That is correct, my lord.
And you have earlier on indicated that an opinion, a person that goes out and seeks for an opinion from his colleague, he does that after he has finalized his comparison, not so?
That is correct, my lord. I said you check them first and then you can go and ask for an opinion after you've checked them.